Katherine Hepburn wasn't just a Hollywood legend. She was a woman of boundless talent, fearless independence, and deeply guarded secrets. Her life was a fascinating mix of triumphs and tragedies, filled with controversial love affairs and groundbreaking achievements. But behind the glittering career lay a story far more complex and scandalous. What secrets did she carry to her grave, and why were her final words to a former lover recorded on tape? Stay with us as we unravel the incredible and shocking life of Katherine Hepburn. Katherine Hepburn was born into a family that was anything but conventional. Her mother, Katherine Martha Houghton Hepburn, was a trailblazer for women's rights and a prominent suffragette who worked tirelessly to advance the cause of gender equality. A graduate of Bryn Mawr College, Katherine Martha defied societal expectations of the early 20th century by dedicating her life to activism. She was a co-founder of Planned Parenthood and often gave lectures on controversial topics like birth control, despite the significant backlash from conservative groups. Her influence on Katherine cannot be overstated. From a young age, Katherine was exposed to her mother's fearless determination and unwavering belief in personal freedom. The elder Katherine often took her daughter to women's suffrage rallies, where young Katherine witnessed firsthand the power of standing up for one's beliefs. These experiences laid the foundation for Katherine's own bold personality and refusal to conform to societal norms. Katherine's father, Dr. Thomas Hepburn, was equally progressive in his approach to parenting and public advocacy. A urologist and pioneer in the fight against sexually transmitted diseases, he believed in open conversations about health and sexuality, a radical stance for the time. Together, her parents created an environment that encouraged intellectual curiosity and individualism. But Katherine didn't fit into the traditional mold of a young girl. She chopped off her hair, adopted the nickname Jimmy, and insisted on being treated as one of the boys. When neighbors and extended family raised eyebrows at her unconventional behavior, her parents stood firmly by her side, celebrating her unique identity. One particularly vivid anecdote showcases her mother's influence. During a neighborhood meeting to discuss appropriate conduct, Katherine Martha reportedly stood up and defended her daughter's right to express herself. "Let the child be who she is," she declared, silencing the critics. This unconditional support fostered a sense of confidence and rebellion in Katherine that would define her entire life. Despite her progressive upbringing, Katherine's childhood took a dark turn when she was just 13 years old. During an Easter trip to New York, she and her older brother Tom stayed with their aunt in a luxurious Manhattan apartment. What began as an exciting outing to the theater ended in tragedy. The morning after their outing, Katherine found her 15-year-old brother dead in his room. Tom had always been a bright and kind-hearted boy, known for his infectious laughter and love of adventure, making the loss all the more devastating. It appeared that he had taken his own life, leaving the family grappling with shock and unanswered questions. The sight was devastating, and the impact of that moment would haunt Katherine for the rest of her life. To make matters worse, her family's response was chilling. Rather than acknowledging the possibility of a tragic choice, they insisted it was a botched experiment, a narrative they clung to in order to protect themselves from the stigma surrounding mental health. Tom's death marked a profound turning point for Katherine. Once a carefree and confident child, she became withdrawn and distrustful of others. Her self-assured demeanor masked a deep sense of loss and isolation. To cope, Katherine threw herself into academics and sports, excelling in activities that required focus and discipline. She later credited these pursuits with helping her regain a sense of control over her life. The tragedy also influenced her views on mortality and relationships. Katherine's future romantic entanglements often mirrored her conflicted feelings about trust and vulnerability. She became fiercely independent, vowing never to rely on anyone else for emotional support. "Life is a tragedy," she once remarked. "You just have to keep going." Years later, in her autobiography, Katherine reflected on her brother's death with unflinching honesty. She admitted that her family's denial of the event's true nature left a wound that never fully healed. It also shaped her resilience, as she learned to navigate life's challenges on her own terms. This inner strength would become one of her most defining traits, both on and off the screen. Katherine's journey to stardom was anything but smooth. After deciding to pursue acting in college, she faced brutal criticism during her early theater career. Audiences often complained about her shrill voice, labeling it grating and unsuited for leading roles. On more than one occasion, she was fired from productions due to her unconventional appearance and unpolished performance style. Critics didn't hold back, dismissing her as too awkward and unconventional to succeed in theater. One particularly humiliating experience came during her early days as an understudy. When the lead actress fell ill, Katherine was called upon to step into the role at the last minute. Nervous and unprepared, she flubbed her lines, missed her cues, and even tripped on stage. The audience's laughter was anything but kind, and the performance ended with her being unceremoniously fired. Despite these setbacks, Katherine refused to give up. She treated each rejection as an opportunity to learn, tirelessly refining her craft. She took voice lessons to soften her tone and studied the performances of established actors to better understand stage presence. Her relentless determination began to pay off when she landed a role in the Broadway production of The Warrior's Husband. This role marked a turning point in her career. Katherine's bold and athletic portrayal of an Amazonian queen captivated audiences and critics alike. Her natural charisma and commanding stage presence couldn't be ignored, and for the first time, she was praised for her unique qualities rather than criticized for them. Hollywood scouts in the audience took notice, and soon she was offered a screen test that would change her life forever. Katherine's transition to film was equally daring. When offered a role in A Bill of Divorcement, she demanded an unheard-of salary of $1,500 per week. It was a bold move for a relative unknown, but RKO Studios decided to take a chance on the fiery newcomer. Her debut performance was a revelation, silencing her detractors and proving that her unconventional style was a strength, not a weakness. From those rocky beginnings, Katherine began to carve out her path as a trailblazer in Hollywood. Her early struggles not only shaped her resilience, but also set the stage for her rise as one of the most iconic actresses of her time. Behind the scenes, Katherine's personal life was as dramatic as her on-screen roles. One of her earliest and most controversial relationships was with director John Ford. Despite being married, Ford developed a deep connection with Hepburn while working together on the 1936 film Mary of Scotland. Their relationship was far from conventional. Ford, a man of Irish Catholic upbringing, struggled with the moral and social implications of pursuing an affair. Yet, their chemistry was undeniable, both on and off the set. Katherine admired Ford's artistic vision and his ability to capture raw emotion on screen, while Ford was enchanted by Katherine's independent spirit and fierce determination. Their bond grew so strong that Ford seriously considered divorcing his wife, Mary, to be with her. However, the situation was far more complicated than a simple choice. Mary Ford threatened to take custody of their daughter if he left, forcing Ford to abandon his plans. Katherine, ever bold, reportedly offered Mary $50,000 to step aside, hoping to resolve the situation amicably. But her efforts were futile, and the romance remained unfulfilled. The emotional toll of their relationship was evident in their later years. Ford's niece once recounted how deeply he cared for Katherine, describing her as a muse who inspired some of his greatest works. Yet, their love was tinged with regret and what-ifs. Ford's struggles with alcoholism further complicated their connection, leading to moments of both tenderness and turmoil. Years later, when Ford was on his deathbed, Katherine visited him for one final conversation. What she thought was a private moment was accidentally recorded, capturing Ford's heartfelt confession of love. "I've always loved you," he said, his voice frail but filled with emotion. Katherine's response was equally poignant. "It's mutual." This exchange offered a rare glimpse into the depth of their feelings, revealing a love story that, though unfulfilled, left an indelible mark on both their lives. Katherine's most famous and enduring relationship was with actor Spencer Tracy, a man as troubled as he was talented. Their chemistry on screen was electric, but their real-life romance was far more complex. Tracy, who was married with children, carried the weight of deep Catholic guilt that made their love affair both passionate and fraught with tension. Their relationship began on the set of Woman of the Year in 1941. For Hepburn, Tracy was unlike any man she had ever met. Rugged, deeply introspective, and entirely captivating. Tracy, however, was initially dismissive of Hepburn, reportedly telling friends that she was too tall for him. Yet, as they spent more time together, their connection deepened into a bond that would last nearly 3 decades. Hepburn's devotion to Tracy was unwavering. She willingly accepted the fact that he would never leave his wife due to his religious convictions. Instead, she carved out a space for herself in his life, often spending her days caring for him as he battled alcoholism and chronic insomnia. As Tracy's health deteriorated in his later years, Hepburn stepped away from her own career to become his full-time caregiver. She prepared his meals, managed his medications, and provided him with the emotional support he so desperately needed. Despite their deep connection, their relationship was kept a closely guarded secret, largely due to Tracy's public image as a devoted family man. Hollywood studios went to great lengths to protect their stars' reputations, and both Hepburn and Tracy adhered to these unwritten rules. Their affair was known to close friends and colleagues, but the press never caught wind of the truth during their lifetimes. One of the most poignant moments in their love story came during the filming of their final movie, Together. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Tracy was gravely ill, and Hepburn feared he wouldn't live to see the film's completion. She later revealed that during his final scene, she quietly stood off camera, watching him with tears in her eyes. Tracy passed away just 17 days after filming wrapped, leaving Hepburn heartbroken but resolute in her decision not to attend his funeral. She chose instead to grieve in private, honoring his family's wishes. Hepburn once reflected on their relationship with a mix of pride and melancholy, saying, "I loved Spencer Tracy. I would have done anything for him." Their unconventional love, though fraught with challenges, remains one of Hollywood's most bittersweet romances. Their story is a testament to the deep complexities of love, loyalty, and sacrifice. By the late 1930s, Katherine Hepburn's career had hit a rough patch. Following a string of box office failures, she was labeled box office poison by the Hollywood press, a title that could have ended her career. But Katherine was not one to accept defeat. Instead, she took control of her destiny and orchestrated one of the most remarkable comebacks in Hollywood history. The key to her resurgence was her performance in the Broadway play The Philadelphia Story. Hepburn not only starred in the play, but also shrewdly acquired the film rights. When Hollywood came knocking, she made it clear that any studio wanting to adapt the play would have to meet her terms. She would star in the film, and she would have creative control over its production. MGM agreed to her demands, and the resulting film became a critical and commercial success. The Philadelphia Story not only restored Hepburn's reputation, but also established her as a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. The role highlighted her wit, charm, and emotional depth, earning her an Academy Award nomination and re-cementing her place as one of the industry's brightest stars. This comeback marked a turning point in Hepburn's career, as she began to focus on roles that showcased her intelligence and independence, qualities that mirrored her real-life persona. This period also marked Hepburn's evolution as a trailblazer in the industry. Unlike many actresses of her time, she refused to be typecast and actively sought out roles that challenged societal norms. Her success with The Philadelphia Story laid the groundwork for a career defined by resilience, reinvention, and relentless determination. Katherine Hepburn's refusal to conform to societal norms extended beyond her career. She famously rejected traditional ideas of marriage and motherhood, prioritizing her independence above all else. For Hepburn, freedom was not a luxury, but a necessity, and she guarded it fiercely throughout her life. Her relationship with billionaire aviator Howard Hughes exemplified her commitment to independence. Though Hughes was deeply enamored with Hepburn and even proposed marriage, she turned him down. For Hepburn, the prospect of marriage, especially one that might limit her autonomy, was unthinkable. She later explained that she valued her freedom too much to be tied down, even to a man as wealthy and powerful as Hughes. Hepburn's defiance of convention extended to her personal style and public image. At a time when Hollywood actresses were expected to embody femininity and glamour, Hepburn unapologetically wore trousers and minimal makeup, challenging the industry's narrow standards of beauty. Her distinctive style became a symbol of her individuality and strength, inspiring generations of women to embrace their own uniqueness. Hepburn's views on motherhood were equally unconventional. She was forthright about her decision not to have children, stating that she didn't feel the need to conform to societal expectations. "I'm not sorry," she once said. "I was too busy living my life." Her unapologetic independence made her a role model for women seeking to forge their own paths. Through her actions and choices, Hepburn proved that a woman could succeed on her own terms, defying societal norms and expectations. Her legacy as a trailblazer who valued authenticity over acceptance continues to resonate to this day. As Katherine Hepburn grew older, she continued to redefine expectations for women in Hollywood and beyond. While many actresses struggled to find roles as they aged, Hepburn remained in demand, a testament to her timeless appeal and unyielding talent. Unlike others who clung to youth, she embraced her age with grace, choosing roles that showcased her depth and maturity. In the 1960s, she took a significant risk by venturing into Shakespeare, earning acclaim for her performances in The Taming of the Shrew and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Her versatility and willingness to challenge herself endeared her to critics and audiences alike. In her later years, Hepburn defied the stereotype of fading into obscurity, choosing instead to lean into her unique voice and fierce independence. Her crowning achievement came in 1968 with her performance in The Lion in Winter, where she portrayed Eleanor of Aquitaine. The role earned her her third Academy Award, solidifying her place as one of the most celebrated actresses of all time. This was followed by yet another Oscar win in 1981 for On Golden Pond, making her the only actor to win 4 Academy Awards for acting. Off-screen, Hepburn maintained her active lifestyle. Even in her 80s, she could be found playing tennis, painting, or taking long walks. She lived by her own rules, refusing to let society dictate how she should age. Her candid interviews during this time revealed a lighter, more reflective side of her personality. In her famous 2-hour conversation with Dick Cavett, audiences saw her wit and charm shine through, further solidifying her status as an icon. Despite her strength, Hepburn faced health challenges in her later years. She suffered from essential tremors, a condition that caused her hands to shake, and battled bouts of pneumonia. In 1997, she officially retired from acting after her health began to decline. True to form, she faced her final years with quiet dignity, retreating to her family home in Connecticut. Hepburn passed away in 2003 at the age of 96. She died in the same house where she had spent much of her childhood. A fitting end for a woman who cherished her roots. Her passing marked the end of an era, but her legacy as a trailblazing actress and unapologetic individual lives on. Today, Katherine Hepburn is remembered as more than a Hollywood legend. She is celebrated as a symbol of resilience, independence, and authenticity. A woman who refused to conform to anyone's expectations but her own. Her life story continues to inspire those who dare to break the mold and follow their own path. Katherine Hepburn's life was a masterclass in defying expectations and rewriting the rules. From her groundbreaking career to her unapologetically independent lifestyle, she embodied resilience, determination, and authenticity. She refused to conform to societal norms, choosing instead to live life on her own terms, boldly, bravely, and unapologetically. Her journey, marked by triumphs and tragedies, remains a source of inspiration for those who dare to challenge conventions. Hepburn showed the world that success is not about fitting into a mold, but about embracing one's true self. Her legacy, as an actress and as a woman, is a testament to the power of individuality and the courage to be different. As we reflect on her incredible life, we're reminded of the timeless lessons she left behind: to value independence, to face challenges head-on, and to live a life that is uniquely our own. Katherine Hepburn wasn't just a star. She was a force of nature, and her story will continue to captivate and inspire for generations to come. So, what do you think about Katherine Hepburn's incredible journey? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's golden age.